So, what proof do I have of the Wins family and the child porn animal productions I have? Well, Wendell Mason, I can take you to his house any time. He was on the farm all the time. I remember coming to on the couch one day in our living room, him and my father at the dining room table smoking their shit. Him asking me, "Do you feel better?" He always comes with this weird voice when he's in his energy thing. "Yours or mine? Yours or mine? Russell B. Barlow." Creepy, creepy. Anyway, their ties to the Wins family. Mr. Perkins down at Dravo Carmoose. They wanted to buy me, not the Perkins. I'm talking about the Wins and the Mason family. Christy worked for the Mason family drug. Anyway, they offered to buy me sheep, female ones to screw, as long as they could all stand around watching and popping loads to it. If you see me do this, it's not a threat. When I say that and do that, that's my imitation of the pitchfork they would put against me. Pitchforking me. If you see me do this, it's the circle jerk situation. We should sit and decide on the dialogue and the dialect. Oh well. So let me tell you about watching my cousin throw away a pair of panties in a walk of shame and tell me about what had been done to her. And then them claiming, "You are mistaken, you're hallucinating, you're delusional." Well, I can pull the text message up and show you. They are pressing charges. Oh well. I'd like to press charges against my family, but they won't ever take a statement. And, me too. Hooray. So let me tell you about me talking about these things without even recording law enforcement officers and them coming at me for even speaking privately in my own home about them. Well, let me tell you this, too. Mr. Boggs wanted to know what had been said about him at our Christmas parties. The old women and I talk about how good he looks in his khakis. He needs to take in the inseam just a little more, doesn't he, girls? There's no one there, I know that, but that's the behavior I did. He needs to take his inseam a little more, doesn't he? Oh well. People get upset about me sitting and talking. Well, when I get up, the room spins. I stretched earlier. The room started spinning. It wasn't due to drugs. But then again, I did wake up with that odd smell of vinegar. I'm like, what is that smell? What is that smell? I had to look it up. What does heroin smell like? Vinegar. Oh. So let me tell you about my mother's side of the family and their drugging. Like I said, Kentucky pushed Christy Tully, whatever her last name is now, notarizing a vehicle sale for her father. I'm assuming Kentucky pushed it right on through. If not, Debbie should probably look out, shouldn't she? And let me tell you about the Hilltop Bar sales with Miss whatever her name is now and Kim Henderson Monteith and their ties to MCDC. And Patrick's family, too. Huge drug and sex ring. Yes, it is. Try to talk about it for years, only to be told, shut up. So, while I was shoveling cow shit by hand, literally, do you think Taylor and Karen ever even bothered to send us a Christmas card? Taylor and Karen, such good, sweet people. Do you think those assholes ever even sent us a Christmas card? With me going up there and cleaning up their goddamn parents' mess. Just waiting idly by. Oh well. So let me tell you all about the Wood-Gollenstein family. If I am an addict, which I am, I'm a binge drinker, alcoholic. That's why I avoid it nowadays. Nicotine. It is the devil. Oh, and to my funny, I'm pretty sure that Uncle Charlotte allowed Aunt Tony to drive that town car sometimes. Man, Tony Wentz must be one hell of a mechanic or no good people, because last time I saw Charlotte Wentz, that town car was still running. I think she let him drive it sometimes. Let me tell you how terrified I was to use the restroom in the facilities in that school district. I tried to report child abuse one time to those people. When Charlotte Wentz was secretary, I was run out of the office. T. Douglas, she must have been a crazy person or something. I know her interaction, she always did have this aggressive, pissed off look with me. You're just trying to start trouble. And Seth Bavard said that never happened. So let me tell you. Oh well. They're going to press charges against me for satire and foul language. I told them, if you don't like my religion, take it up with the former administrations. Not to mention the shits of the mouth by their physicians, Charlotte Wentz and the network, Tri-State Arthritis and Rheumatology. I saw Dr. Colglazer. Ellen Moore saw Dr. Kunith. I have no clue who Charlotte Wentz saw, but let me tell you about their medical practice. Recommending cannabis, saying, who cares if it's illegal? Oh, of course, let's go tell Charlotte Wentz. And just like I told Sam Bavard and his friends, cannabis seeds are totally legal. You don't believe me? You're an idiot. Just like opium poppy seeds, as long as they're washed and don't have the alkaloids still on them for culinary purposes, they're totally legal. Growing opium poppies is totally legal. Producing anything from them is illegal, absolutely. My grandmother used to grow them. And not for the shit. They actually destroyed them once they finished blooming. Went ahead and cut them off, deadheaded them, as they would call it, so they wouldn't produce that crap. Where did I go to law school? Wouldn't they love to know? I remember one of the women up here coming towards me, and I'm pretty sure they made the statement, you're not going to flirt your way out of this one. I thought, what in the hell are you talking about? They're called compliments. That's what's wrong with this world. Absolutely. Straight men being offended that they could have any fag they wanted. It's sickening. Take them as the compliment, laugh the rest of it off, and feel good about yourself, for fuck's sake. I don't understand humanity anymore. That's like Kenton. Kenton Pumpelly, drive me home, bitch, I'm drunk. I planned on staying here tonight. And I'm not staying at Pumpelly Plantation Mansion either. Then when I invited him to dinner, he said no. Well, I'm sorry that royalty can't be seen with peasants. Let me tell you about Mr. Pumpelly's cool tattoo on his left thigh. So, as I said, I'll tell them a story about poor old Rick Kenton and Tucker. The look Tucker gave me that night over at the cabin, I'm not going anywhere. I didn't even want to come here in the first place, and I am not drunk enough for this shit. And then the next morning, them waking me up, I thought, I'm not doing this shit either. Grabbing my shoes, going outside to smoke a carton of cigarettes. Some people being at this greenhouse-looking thing near the cabin driveway, asking if I was Kenton. I'm like, do I look like Kenton Pumpelly? He's only about a foot taller than I am. Or is he behind me? Pretty view. I got scolded for taking pictures from their balcony of the bridge. People are going to know where you are. Do you honestly think I'd go anywhere with you goons without letting an outside source know? It's not paranoia. I don't trust you people. Not at all. She is. Oh well. That's just like my family, trying to take legal action against me for their conversion reparative rapey therapy when they had AA battery operated handheld tasers and beepers and. Yeah, right. I'd like to press charges, and every law enforcement official I've ever come across has made that impossible, pointing to my mental health condition as me just fabricating my story. Well, just because I don't break down bawling about it all the time. As I said, the last cop that I asked about it said I would have to go back to the jurisdiction in which it happened. The female law enforcement officer is the one who told me, well, if you fear for your safety, you can make the report anywhere. Oh, hooray. Thank you. And like I said, I punish myself all the time, just like the water that leaked on the kitchen floor. I didn't do it on purpose. But nobody wanted to keep up with what they had done to me. They all denied it. Let me tell you about them squeezing my nose to put forced medication in there against my will, claiming that I wasn't in the mental capacity to make the decision. So Kim Razor's signature put me on Zyprexa. She might not have prescribed it, but let me tell you about her family, their ties to Mason County Detention Center, and their legal representation, known as Foxwood Wood Nestle, doing the child porn productions. And then I'm supposed to contact Shanklin Drive at these holy rollers at the downtown date rape bars get into trouble? Oh, that's good to know. Oh well. So let me tell you about the moonlighting guards. One of them, I don't know his name. He's kind of an odd person. He reminds me of Corporal Denise Prater-Werlein. But then the trench coat mustache guy pictured with Lisa Yuri being their bouncer. Interesting, isn't it? Oh well. So let me tell you about being mashed, yanked out of bed, them saying, get up before I drag your ass across this concrete. Oh well. Let me tell you why their bullying caused me to bust my temporal artery in a religious effort to try to relieve myself of their constant harassment, bullying, civil rights violation, hate crime. I was told by the Ingrams, with the director of Kentucky Narcotics, their families were entitled to the civil rights protections that I spoke of. Now do you understand why the states are fighting so hard to overturn the new protections extended in Title IX? Because of drugging and hazing susceptible children in minority groups, only to force them into treatment, and then point the finger at people like me stating, you didn't go to college to be a doctor or a lawyer, or, you're not entitled to make these judgments. I'm the patient. I'm pretty sure I know what happened. So let me tell you about Patrick Boggs and the Osbournes. Sophia fought Cropper playing the elf with Patrick and Santa Claus, and Susie Pratt telling me when I was in high school she saw me winding up in hospital. Yeah, well, I'd say so. Maysville tourism director saying we see you winding up in hospital. Oh well, it happened, didn't it? So let me tell you about the tongue cutter mental health treatment and the pair of scissors on Kenton Pumpelly's left thigh. Talking about the network of Anthem and the date rape bars and the psych people involved in their endeavor. It's hilarious that Kenton was going to marry Chelsea Weber, wasn't it? Instead of reading the Bible, Debbie Weber would say, read this book instead. Oh well. Well, let me tell you about being suffocated with a pillow when I was younger and raped. Oh well. So let me tell you about being crushed due to Tourette's syndrome and my religion because it offends other people while they're allowed to mash children like potatoes and it not be assault. I'd like to press charges. No law enforcement official would take the statement. I don't see anyone else here. I feel like I'm smothering. So let me tell you about several more of the officials. Let me tell you about them mashing me like a potato to the point I attempted to take my own life, and they claim no responsibility. I could not hear them. I'm hard of hearing. I was bludgeoned. My ears ring all the time. It's hard enough for me to focus on removing that without it driving me crazy. Oh well. So let me tell you how they dehumanize me in their grand scheme of doing whatever. They would sit and call me smug when I laugh at inappropriate things and cry at inappropriate things. I truly can't help it, just like with the Tourette's. Their physicians diagnosed it as the shits of the mouth, with AA battery-operated handheld tasers and Bibles and come to your closet and pray. Well, who left this briefcase in here? So this is what they're doing to us, huh? Conversion reparative therapy. I was told that they developed the program with a foreign country, of which the Wesleyan Church vacationed in, on the church taxpayer dollar. Conversion reparative therapy. And the narcotics officers that I, didn't know personally, probably couldn't identify them due to losing consciousness, but I remember a dog sodomizing me. And it was a police dog. It was one of the German Shepherd looking ones. I've been through a lot. Most people would probably break down crying, dying over these things. Not me. I had to take a Valium last night to sleep, but are you healing up anymore with the stuff, the treatment?
That's up.
You said you were broken out down there.
Oh, yeah, that's all gone now. That was pretty gross. Yeah.
That's good.
I'm thinking maybe it has to do with heat and that kind of stuff. I don't know. Thank God it's gone.
I know when I got raped. What a nasty infection. Oh well. Flashbacks. They think I'm hearing voices and talking to something I'm hearing. No, they're flashbacks and what I really wish I had said. It's a form of therapy for me. It's like talking to a therapy pillow. People can't stand that it occurs out of random times, at random times. That's called Tourette's syndrome. Auditory tics, nervous tics, constant movements. Here's the medical literature to prove that, unless they're going to shred it. Just like the Maysville people. What is the Federal Bureau of Investigation doing at Meadowview? Well, Bernetta Sweet works in the office, and the Sweet family is known for their proclivative activities. Let me tell you about Sue Sweet, whatever her name is now, and that cop she used to date from the Mason County area. When she had that sweet Eddie Bauer Explorer, Yes, I am the little old church woman. You saw the brain injuries. People thought that I was just an idiot. Just an idiot. With a platinum card and a nice bag. I'm sure they're so grateful they put me in with the good, wholesome ones by now. In the Wesleyan Church. Did you all catch that Hope Sound thing? I guess you'd rather see the real thing. Oh well. Now let's walk through the house to find it. Oh. Yeah, Hope Sound. Wesleyan College. A bunch more fun truth things from the Christians. Just like with Indiana Wesleyan University, you'll only find one major case of sexual assault in the Wesleyan Church. In the Wesleyan Church, because they handle it in other ways. Mainly by force. Nan used to carry leather driving gloves and a little billy club at all times. But then again, the world's pretty crazy. The reason I listen to music on repeat loud, that cool torture program they put me through when I was a kid. And that's what it was. It comforts me. Just like sirens. People are like, how can you stand the sound of them? They comfort me. My brain works pretty much in the exact reverse of most people's. It's annoying to no one more than me. Just like people in my dark humor. That's sexual harassment. Well, let me pull up your dick pics. And that's just like when I would be going through the Mason County house yelling things. My mother assumed I was yelling at her. Normally, I'm yelling at myself. It's my form of therapy. Well, thank you. Thank you, oh God, for another moment of clarity, with people thinking I'm totally healthy without ever reviewing the medical literature. I'm the bipolar one. This is hilarious. My sister, in text messages that I can pull up and prove, told me that my parents paid for my furniture that I had in the Mason County residence. It wasn't mine. Then 2 weeks later told me, when are you coming to get it? Just like the bitch punching me in the mouth and telling me to lick her clit. So let me tell you about being pepper sprayed so I couldn't see my perpetrator and digging my skin off. Anyway, they've been doing this crazy stuff to me for a long, long time, claiming that I didn't have a right to have my opinion because I was a faggot, a fudge-packing, cock-sucking faggot. They would ask me to take pictures of my butthole for them with Tony Wentz and his family and associates asking or saying, we just wanted to make sure you were ready for a little sucky. What in the hell are these people talking about? It was sickening. It was absolutely sickening, only for the judicial system to come at me over mental health. I pissed the bed until high school. Used to take dolls and rub them all over myself because I was raped repeatedly. Nobody ever would listen. Comprehend told me to get the hell out of the room. So let me tell you about Cindy Spence, disabled retired from Comprehend, related to Aaron Flack, and their hand in the medical and drugs. No, thank you. Let me tell you about Aflac and D-Hull being besties. So, when Patrick Boggs sent Devin Hull out to fetch me that day, not only did he find it offensive that I had spoken about his father the way I did, I didn't mean I didn't mean it negatively. I was out drinking with Darren Hull before. He drank that nasty beer. I hate beer, but anyway, he drank nasty beer. And he liked his motorcycles. One of their own brothers, publicly on social media, in one of the cannabis groups, probably monitoring people to harass them, came forward about saying, yeah, I know about their corruption. Yeah, let me tell you more about the marijuana sales. I could pull up Wes's screenshot about an appeal to heaven with a Christmas tree. However, I don't think I will. Like I said, I was raped in the school district at least 2 times that I can remember. The school board, while embezzling funding, and their little science experiment with biology. So let me tell you about them threatening to kill me. And mashing me down. We have a restraining order. Well, my apologies that you all listen to my family. My father used to tell them, he brings that stuff home from school with him. No, Shell and Jay and all her little buddies, including Daddy Shouse and Daddy Brindley, have their goddamn game. The Pickrells and the Drakes and the Hendersons. Yeah, let me tell the whole story publicly. Why not? They claimed that I would be fucking up one of their investigations. You people have been so-called investigating this for 30 years. Let me tell you about Corporal Denise Prater-Werlein, my family, cannabis and dildos. And transgender people just aren't real. They're perverts, according to her. You all can cut and paste this to make it sound like I'm saying something I'm not. I really don't care. Poor Bet Porter from the L Word. Franklin, if you think about firing Sheriff Boggs, I'll have to think about loaning you my art collection. Like I stated, especially with not even telling the whole story, Sheriff Boggs is going to have that badge for a long, long time as his punishment. Him and Malibu Barbie aren't going anywhere. That's not a threat. I hate guns. Oh well. Smells like Bobby Gollenstein's cigarettes. Bobby G. Man, I just loved his sexy mustache. That's sexual harassment. Compliments. Men can't take compliments. And I smell unfiltered camels, too, like Bob Walton's beauty shop. Nan Kelly came in there one day and was like, Bob, eat pledge. Come in here and look at the Playboys. The Waltons. Big titty bitch porn too. Deputy Brad over in Fleming County, tell him I said hello. He was always a cool kid in school who seemed like he'd been bullied too by a bunch of bitches. He was nice to me. Well, not nice, overly nice, but he was talkative, and he was the quiet type. Just like Dustin, Kehoe, always mean-mugging. So I would chase Brandy's Wrangler and bark at them. It was worth it to see him smile. Did you all find my Asian boudoir ware yet in the Mason County house? I might have known it would be red. Oh well. Wasn't me. So let me tell you about them crushing my skull, and then them claiming absolutely no responsibility for it. Being bludgeoned, being pushed down a flight of stairs, being pushed off a bridge. Honestly, it's only funny now. When I fell, was pushed, they told me to walk it off, and I did. Oh well. This story goes on and on and on. Certain people ask me, are you surprised we allow you to do what you do? Quite frankly, I'm not sure what to think. Adult men should have thought about all this before diddling kids, and this is the Stuart Shocking symbol. It's not some gang thing. Dayton Power and Light Stuart Shockers, these two go in the front of a woman, and this one goes in the rear. If you're a man, this goes on the tank. My husband in emergency medical services taught it to me, and he wasn't even from the area. So, yeah, I think it extends to other places. So starting with Nancy Gutman, where the Rosses were, I may have already talked about this. I know I typed up my little report. I had a nice big report. Who am I going to present it to? So I burned it, and it all started coming true. Anyway, Nancy Gutman, when she was where the Rosses practiced, post Kelly Moss, pre-Peter Egan. That's how much I remember. During one of my medical appointments, my father asked for more penicillin pills. Unless she has the records to refute it, I'm pretty sure she prescribed it during one of my appointments. Then at Mediview, my wrist snapped one day trying to start a push mower because, believe it or not, I try to do as much as I can. I went to the hospital because it felt like I'd broken it. I told her, I was like, I just want a plain x-ray. I don't want medicine. I had medicine at home. She prescribed an additional anti-inflammatory. When I asked her, can't this cause kidney failure? She said, I don't care. And guess who she's with now? Malibu Barbie's company, Primary Plus. And let me tell you about Matt Gerald's, head of their IT or whatever downtown, at the date rape bars. And he's pretty bow ties. And my brother-in-law messing with their finances. Convenient, isn't it?